Going. 57 degrees, sun shining, and an absolutely beautiful night for football here as Bethany returns home to Bison Stadium after a long, event-filled 503-day layoff due to COVID. But times are better, and the Bison are back here at Bison Stadium tonight as they host PAC rival St. Vincent.
back to game day, the Bethany College Marching Band. Under the direction of Mr. Brad Rager, tonight's band is comprised of members of the Bethany College community, as well as several area high school band programs. Future Bethany band students joining us tonight, along with their directors, are from the Edison High School Wildcat Marching Band, the St. Clairsville High School Marching Red Devils, and also joining us tonight are alumni and members of the famous award-winning Pride of Brooke County, the Brooke High School Marching Band. Please rise and remove your hats as we honor America, and please remain standing for the Bethany College alma mater.
Welcome inside Studio A, inside the Johnson Memorial Visual Arts Center. My name is Linnell Willingham of Beside the Point Media Group, and this is Bison Game Day Central. Welcome back to Bison Game Day Central, and we've got a packed show for you guys as we get set for kickoff of Week 2 as your Bethany Bison host Mike Stasko and the St. Vincent Bearcats. But before we get to the Bearcats, we'll look back to last week's highlights against Westminster. The Bison opened up the 2021 spring season last Friday night against Westminster, and we've got highlights. It was a packed house at Harold Stadium as the school allowed students to attend, and it was a rocky start for the Bison. First play offensively, handoff to sophomore running back Colton Stoneman, and a whoop! Ball's on the turf, recovered by Westminster, and that is how the Titans will get things going here. A few plays later, Westminster marches. It is a Cole Kushneska handoff to Gomes, and he'll walk in for the easy touchdown. Bison get the ball back on the ensuing possession. Third down here, Bison trying to get it to Colton Stoneman on the screen, and it is snuffed out by the Titans. Westminster will get the football back here a few plays later. Into their drive, it is Cole Kushneska taking the ball up top, hitting freshman wide receiver Ty Elam for a 40-yard bomb, and that is how the Titans will get on top of the Bison by a score of 14-0. Bison get the ball back, unable to get a first down. Special teams highlights only shown for one or two reasons. It's either a big play or a boo-boo, and this time it is a boo-boo. Freshman punter Brennan Seacrest has nowhere to go, and he is taken down deep inside of their own territory, and that is how the Titans will get the football back Wildcat formation here for the Titans. It is Frank Antano with the short touchdown run, and that is how Westminster will jump out ahead 21-0 on the Bison. It was a quick start by the Titans. Next play, another special teams play. Big play or a boo-boo. This time a boo-boo forced by the Bison. It is Amos Porter and Jermaine Snodgrass combining, forcing a fumble by Westminster. Bison unable, though, unfortunately, to capitalize offensively. They give the ball right back to the Titans. Titans have it a few plays later. Cole Kushneshka in the shotgun finds Matt Elam once again. And Matt Elam will take it deep inside the Bison territory. This will be chased down at about the 1-yard line. And once again, the Titans go back to the Wildcat. It's Frank Antano. And the Wildcat takes it over the left side and walks in easily, and that will extend the Westminster lead to 28-0 in the first quarter. We'll skip to the second half here, as it was a rough start for the Bison. Colton Stoneman gets to redeem himself. A 9-yard touchdown to get the Bison on the board. Will cut the lead to 42-7. Bison with the ball back again here offensively. This time it's Salinetro in the shotgun. He'll find his man in the red zone. It is sophomore wideout Davon McWhorter, as the Bison get 2 quick scores and cut the thing to 42-14 in the third quarter. We'll skip now here to the fourth. Change at quarterback. Get Q Money in there. Q Money fade ball to Brennan Seacrest, the dot, as he was blown up by the Westminster defender. Nonetheless, Seacrest ends up with the touchdown, and that is how we will wrap things up. It was a 42-21 Westminster Titan victory.
Obviously, the coaching staff and players were none too pleased with the result last week against Westminster, but talking to the guys within the program, they're eager to play St. Vincent this week and get that nasty taste out of their mouth. Before the Bison traveled to Westminster last week to play the Titans, I sat down with the head coach of the Bison football team, Bill Garvey.
Hi, folks. My name is Linnell Willingham of the Bethany Broadcasting Network, and I'm pleased to be joined by the head coach of the Bethany Bison football team, Coach Bill Garvey. Coach, thanks for joining us this evening.
My pleasure.
Let's get started. Coach, obviously your team and teams across the country have been challenged with a set of unprecedented circumstances in regards to the pandemic. What is the mood around the program now that you guys are able to get back and get into your first game week?
Right. Definitely a little bit different as I keep pulling up my mask here. Anxious, I think, is the right word, to be honest with you. We feel like we've been practicing for months now. It really hasn't been that long, but we've gone a very long time without actually playing a game, right? From a college football standpoint, usually you have 2 weeks and you're right into it, right? And we had probably close to, practice-wise, probably close to 3.5 to 4 weeks without a competition. So I would say, anxious is the right word, and we're, getting ready for Friday and ready to go.
On the football side of things now, Coach, you guys are going to be putting out a young team in this abbreviated spring schedule. How do you see this? How excited are you and the staff to see this group in live game action for the first time this Friday versus Westminster?
Yeah. We're excited to get going. There's no doubt about that, and we are. I keep telling, even just from a recruiting standpoint, as we talk to recruits right now, I don't know how young we are, but we're certainly a little bit more inexperienced. There's no question about that. We graduated a lot of seniors who played a lot of football. And those guys who did that, they just played. There was 2, 3, 4-year starters in that group. So there's just to be a lot of new faces. Again, not really guys who were necessarily first-year starters. A lot of them have played a little bit, right, and had that some game experience. But no question that there is going to be newer faces out there. And again, with everything that they've been having to deal with, and up to this point, they are anxious and ready to go, like we said.
And Coach, guys, like you said, are an inexperienced team, but you have some key pieces returning. Junior quarterback Dom Salinetro takes over the position full-time after throwing 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and completing 56% of his passes a season ago. What are your expectations for him in this unusual spring season?
Yeah, I think just to keep getting better. He's proven he can do it. He hasn't done it full-time yet, but he's proven that he can have success. So we're excited to get him going, and again, in the age of COVID, everybody better be ready. There's no question about that. If things can happen here with all the testing we're doing and the precautions we're taking, so every 81 whatever players we have right now on the roster, every single one of them better be ready for a Friday night game. There's no question about that. But we're excited to get Dom going in now a true full-time role and see what he can produce.
Defensively, you guys are going through heavy roster turnover as well and expect to be playing with a lot of underclassmen. Fortunately, you guys get to return the reigning PAC Newcomer of the Year and sophomore cornerback Dodrick Vickers. How are you guys monitoring, and how are you feeling about his growth and development from year 1
to year two?
Yeah, I mean, great. He's just stepping into a role now, really, truly being a full-time player. You know, as a young player, he was in and out of the lineup, as most young players are. And he's as competitive as a guy as we got. And that is just increasing at every single practice. And you can see his confidence building and him getting into a leadership role and just, you know, becoming a true full-time player and hopefully one of the best corners in this league.
Hopefully you guys have much success, Coach. Well, we finally made it to week one. I'm Linnell Willingham for the Bethany Broadcasting Network. This has been the 2021 Bethany College Football Season Preview. Thanks once again to Coach Garvey. It's always a treat when we're able to have him sit down with us in studio. We're going to switch gears here a little bit as we go inside the locker room with Bison senior linebacker Treasure Owens. What's going on, everyone? My name is Linnell Willingham of Beside the Point Media Group, and I'm pleased to be joined by Bison senior linebacker Treasure Owens as we get ready to go inside the locker room. Are you ready? All right, let's get it. So obviously you guys have not played a game here at Bison Stadium in 503 days. Explain the mood around the team and yourself now that you guys are finally able to get back into group and compete.
First, I would like to say it's overwhelming knowing everything from what the coach all went to all the way to what our corners are doing. So I think my biggest thing is making sure I teach the young guys what the older guys taught me.
Trey, obviously, since you entered the program, you've had the treat and luxury of being coached by former NFL defensive back, your defensive coordinator, Coach Dave Arnold. What are some of the tricks of the trade he may have taught you for being a former pro himself?
Just being accountable, definitely being accountable, being someone that everybody else around you could grab to. Just being yourself and being a leader that Coach Arnold brings the best out of us. We definitely play a lot of mind games, like just teaching us how to be great to get to that level that he was.
And now that we have reached the last leg of inside the locker room, Treasure, we'll end with something a little bit lighter. If you were stuck inside this locker room here at Bison Stadium, what are 3 essential items you must have?
My charger, my earphones, and some food.
Charger, earphones, food. You heard it here. This is Inside the Locker Room with Linnell Willingham and the Bison senior linebacker, Treasure Owens. Always a pleasure to get to talk to my good friend, Treasure Owens, as he gets set to prepare to lead this Bison defense into their home opener here tonight as they host the St. Vincent Bearcats. St. Vincent coming off a loss in week 1 themselves.
57 degrees, sun shining, and an absolutely beautiful night for football. Here as Bethany returns home to Bison Stadium after a long event-filled 503-day layoff due to COVID. But times are better, and the Bison are back here at Bison Stadium tonight as they host PAC rival St. Vincent. Hi, folks. My name is Linnell Willingham alongside Drew Von Sido as we bring you PAC football via the Bethany Broadcasting Network, streamed live on YouTube. And Drew, for the viewers, let's recap last week for the Bison, a 42-21 loss on the road against Westminster. And obviously, well documented, the slow start that they got off to a 28-0 first quarter start. Drew, what do the Bison have to do to get on track here tonight?
Well, they got to find a way to run the football. Colton Stoneman only ran for 31 yards in that last game against Westminster. They've got to find a way to get him going against this St. Vincent 3-3-5 defense.
Yeah, the St. Vincent defense got to put on them as well last week as Grove City put up 34 points in their opening game loss. It will be Devon McWhorter back to return, as well as Sirhan Smith for the Bison as we get set to kick off the abbreviated 2021 spring season here at Bison Stadium. And Drew, it's good to be back, my friend.
Absolutely. It's been too long since we've been here.
We'll get a chance to see this Bison offense on the field first, the unit that struggled last week. But this week is new, and we'll see what gets going. McWhorter cuts back on the kickoff. McWhorter finds a lane and is able to get to the 30-yard line. And that is where Dom Salinatro and this Bison offense will get going. And Drew, more on Dom Salinatro last year, coming off the season, 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, completing 56% of his passes. Obviously had number 7 Carlin Basin at the helm as well, one of the premier players in the PAC a season ago. This is Salinatro's first time as the unquestioned starter here for the Bison.
This young offensive line has to find a way to protect him here tonight.
Opening handoff is a tackle for loss as 3 Colton Stoneman. And the Bugaboos continue here offensively for the Bison.
That's not it.
Yeah, that time just A-gap pressure. Colton Stoneman had no chance on that one. As soon as he got the handoff, the defenders were right in his face. The officials will take a timeout and take a look at the game clock. But, Drew, that first play, hopefully not indicative of more things to come. A 3-yard loss for Colton Stoneman on the opening handoff. And 2 weeks in a row, they've got off to bad starts here on first down. Last week, it was the fumble on first down that really led to the trickle-down effect of what happened in that game. And tonight, a 3-yard loss on first down, excuse me.
Absolutely, they got to find a way to have a short memory, get that first play out of their heads, let Dom run his offense, let the work do itself.
Bison will go 2 receivers to the right of the formation. Salinacho dropping back, and he'll try to hit the tight end, Tim Mickens. He didn't look like he was ready for that one, as Salinacho put it on him, and the Bison now in 3rd and long.
Definitely some miscommunication there with Mickens and Salinacho. I don't know if Mickens, like you said, wasn't expecting that one. Salinacho throwing it too early, but something wasn't right there.
Yeah, just products of it being early on in the season. Tim Mickens just making the switch to tight end after being the starting left tackle last season. Coaches have praised his transition to tight end. That time just a difficult one to handle. They'll give it to Stoneman on the inside carry. Stoneman is quickly corralled after a couple-yard gain. They'll get back to the original line of scrimmage, and the Bison will send out Brennan Seacrest to punt for the first time.
For the Bison to be able to get back to the original line of scrimmage, it kind of sets the tone as a way of saying, look, we might have struggled early, but we're not going to give up that easy.
Yeah, and for the Bison, I mean, look, you put it nicely. They cannot have this start that they just had right now, going 3 and out on this opening possession. They're getting smacked in the mouth last week against Westminster. Punt will be fair caught at the St. Vincent 42-yard line, as that is where this offense will come out for St. Vincent. The St. Vincent offense, led by 5'11" senior running back Mike Stasko out of Lehighton, Pennsylvania. Last week, 14 carries for 66 yards in the loss against Grove City. So we're going to get a penalty on the punt that will increase and better improve this St. Vincent field position. Bison come out in a 4-man front. Be interested to see here the battle in the trenches here on the first play. How did this Bison defensive line handle St. Vincent up front? RPO and a drop. That time is Brady Walker. Yeah, Phil Harding, sure-handed receiver normally out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Dropped that one as Brady Walker saw that backer come down on the RPO, and the Bison got lucky on that one.
Although I would say I don't think Harding would have gotten far. Dadrick Vickers is right there to bring him down.
St. Vincent will come out with 2 backs in the backfield. Twins to the right of the formation. They'll motion it back to that side. Little outside zone is stuffed in the backfield. Jermaine Snodgrass making the play behind the line of scrimmage. The sophomore linebacker out of Wheeling Park High School putting his prints on this one early on, and it'll get St. Vincent into 3rd and long.
Well, they need Snodgrass to set the tone defensively, especially after that 3 and out.
And a nice start here defensively for Coach Arnold's group. And talking to him during the week, he was very honest about the performance they put on tape last week against Westminster. He said flat out, we got our butts kicked. And this opening possession, if they can get off the field here, would be huge.
It's probably a lot more colorful language than that, though.
Definitely. As Brady Walker checking to the St. Vincent sideline with Coach Matenka. So see a lot of check with me's with him in this offense. So he's got a lot of control at the line of scrimmage. All day to throw for Walker. Finds a man in the middle of the field. And he is going to be right at the marker. We'll see. And they're going to award him the first down. It was a big hit put on him by junior linebacker Trezor Owens. But, boy, you got to praise Brady Walker there, climbing the pocket there, setting his feet and throwing a dart for a first down.
Absolutely. Brady Walker, only a sophomore, but he's showing that veteran poise to be able to stand in the pocket, even as it's collapsing, like you said, step up, find a way to hit that one.
It'll be first down for St. Vincent, and a good start here for them offensively. So this is a young St. Vincent team, Brady Walker, a sophomore, starting at the helm. Handoff is stuffed in the backfield by the Bison. First man there on the play looked to be Sebastian Venerin, the freshman, making his play.
It was David Marshall Jr. in the backfield for St. Vincent. Just absolutely nowhere for him to go. And after that one play, he will check out of the game.
Yeah, it's good to see the Bison with a couple tackles for loss here. As last week, the running game and their inability to stop it was really their Achilles heel against Westminster, and it looked like they've got some things corrected here early on versus St. Vincent. Second down, handoff. Once again, Staceco met in the backfield. That time is Jordan Aldridge coming up with the tackle for loss. And you couldn't have imagined a better start here if you're Coach Arnold for your defense. Teron Crowder and Jordan Aldridge combining on the tackle. And a big third down here for St. Vincent.
It was Crowder who had him by the ankles, and Aldridge just finished him off, took him to the ground.
See what Coach Matenka's got cooked up here for third down. We'll go twins to the right of the formation. Stasko lined up. Offset of Brady. Send a man in motion. Once again, moving the pocket well is Brady. Looking down the field, and it's caught. Along the St. Vincent sideline. That time it was Cody Evans, the 6'3 senior out of Beckley County, Georgia.
Got an injured Bison down where the pocket was.
That looks to be senior defensive end Muhammad Ilola. And the Bison already very, very young up front on that defensive line, so got to hope Ilola is okay. But, boy, you've seen it now. The Bison have gotten St. Vincent in the third down, and Brady Walker has done a phenomenal job moving the pocket, keeping his eyes downfield in the face of this pressure. And they got to start sending somebody here.
Absolutely, and, I mean, on these 2 third downs that we've seen so far, all the credit in the world going to Brady Walker, finding a way to make something out of nothing, bail his team out.
Yeah, and we mentioned Walker, just a sophomore at quarterback, and get out of Monroeville, Pennsylvania. Taking over for St. Vincent, a lot of trust in him, and they look for him to continue to have success as Muhammad Ilola is helped off. They'll bring up first down for St. Vincent, who is driving after starting this drive at the Bison 42. They've moved it into Bethany territory. Handoff is to Staceco. He gets a couple. Colbert, a freshman out of Fort Walton Beach, Florida, getting a start here tonight. He did not play much versus Westminster. He's someone this coaching staff is very high on, and they believe in his potential. And the kid's got a nice frame at 6'1", 235, playing your defensive end. Guy who's got some length to him.
For the time being, with Muhammad Ilola being tended to by trainer Casey Morrison, Colbert's going to get a lot more game time.
A motion Staceco. Inside handoff. Makes a couple men miss. That time David Marshall Jr. bouncing around. And it looks like got another injured player here. This time it's for the Bearcats. But nonetheless, David Marshall Jr. bouncing off of Bison defenders en route to a first down. And we mentioned it coming in. Stopping the run was going to be crucial. They've done a good job for the most part here until these last couple of downs, but what's really hurt them is the third down play of Brady Walker. Keeping his eyes downfield, and he's connected on a couple third down conversions here, 3rd and 10 plus.
As we saw in that last play, it was David Marshall Jr., the bigger of the two Bearcat running backs, and they used him with Stasko.
Yeah, and this St. Vincent offense playing without the stud freshman wide receiver out of Bowie, Maryland. We'll see if they could get things going down here in the red zone. It's a handoff to Stasko. He's got the edge. And he's going to be knocked out of bounds at about the 2-yard line. It was Danny Gilbert Jr. knocking him out. That time, St. Vincent doing a nice job getting Stasko on the edge. It was a good job by their left tackle, Bruce Johnson, sealing that defensive end, allowing Stasko to get the edge there for a couple.
As we saw in that last injury, it was starting right tackle Colby Missile hobbling his way over to the sideline, so the Bison have to find a way to attack their left side, Bearcats' right side.
St. Vincent will come out in the 2-back set once again. This time Walker will keep it for a Bearcats touchdown. Brady Walker pulling out the do-it-yourself kit, faking the handoff and getting it into the end zone, and that is how St. Vincent will draw first blood here with 8:33 left to go in the opening quarter. Brady Walker getting on the board for the Bearcats.
It's not the first time this drive even we saw Brady Walker pull out the do-it-yourself kit. Like you said, he bailed them out on 2 third and longs in their own half of the field.
Kick is up and good. It is Jared Gonzalez knocking through the extra point, and that is how St. Vincent will get on top of the Bison. And talked to Coach Arnold during the week. He talked about his first punch. And they're going to have to do so here as they've given up a touchdown to St. Vincent, and they got to fix the third down woes there on that Bison sideline defensively.
Absolutely. You know, you set the tone the first 2 downs. You can't let up on third down. Just because you have them 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12 doesn't mean that you can take the foot off the gas.
Yeah, and offensively, the Bison going 3 and out on that first possession. So talking to Coach Garvey during the week about how this team could have success, he said we got to help each other out on all 3 phases, offense, defense, and special teams. And right now, this offense has got to pick it up. It'll be McWhorter and Sirhan Smith back to return once again for the Bison. To kick off is Jared Gonzalez on the heels of the Brady Walker touchdown. Kickoff is fielded at the 5 by McWhorter. McWhorter going to go along the St. Vincent sideline. A flag is thrown. And depending on who this is on, the Bison may have miserable starting field position here.
Kick return to the 19-yard line by number 9, Devon McWhorter.
We'll see what the penalty is as the officials are convening there at the 20. That penalty is going to go against the Bison. An absolutely nightmarish start here offensively. You're 3 and out on your first drive, and now on your second drive offensively, you're starting inside your own 10-yard line.
Absolutely. Unable to get that return to the 20 even. And on top of it, the penalty, not the most ideal starting position for Salinate.
Things that Coach Garvey are talking about. Special teams not helping this offense out here right now. Going to send McWhorter in motion across the formation. Salinate are going to give it to McWhorter. McWhorter making a man miss. Look at a couple of yards as McWhorter looked to shake free before he was tackled by a St. Vincent linebacker.
Tackled by number 97, George Hillen.
We got a substitution for the Bison. Tim Mickens coming off. Bison will open up in their double set. Salinatro looking, throwing, finds Sirhan Smith. And he'll be close to a first down. Looks to be about 2 or 3 yards shy. And that's nice to see for the Bison. Nice play call there from Coach Garvey getting the ball out of Salinatro's hands. And they are going to award the Bison with the first down. A little bit of an issue with the chains there on the home sideline. Salinatro scan the field. Inside handoff is to Stoneman. Stoneman putting his head down. And he'll try to find 2 or 3 yards there on first down. And a nice start here to this drive here for the Bison. You see they were able to get themselves because of the positive run in the 3rd and short.
Definitely a big change from Coach Garvey. After that first drive, they went 3 and out, able to move the chains just once.
Salinatro will fire. Ball is low, intended for Chris Williams, but it will fall incomplete. Yes, Alanetro's got to get that one up. It's a nice job by Chris Williams, creating some separation there on the outside. The junior wide receiver out of Rochester, New York. Scored a touchdown his freshman season in a home game here against your Sinus. Be a third down for the Bison. Good pocket for Salinatro. Salinatro looking, throws. Ball not in the area of a Bison receiver. We're going to have a penalty up front on the Bison. We're going to get a hold on Bethany offensively. And it will force the Bison to punt once again. And Drew, that time it was a nice pocket there for Salinatro, but even better coverage on the back end by St. Vincent.
Absolutely, and what I saw on that play was the left tackle, Aaron Baird, really setting that scramble to his right and try to find a receiver downfield.
High snap for Salinatro. He's able to control it and gets a good punt away. We'll take a favorable Bethany bounce. We'll roll to about the 34-yard line, and that is where Brady Walker and this St. Vincent offense will retake the field. Fresh off of a nice drive that ended in a Brady Walker touchdown. It was the third down woes, and Brady Walker did a nice job evading the rush of the Bison, finding his receivers on third down and extending some plays with his legs.
Absolutely, and as the quarterback, you're the leader of that offense. When things aren't going well on first and second down, you got to find a way to step your game up and get something going for your team.
And for the first time tonight, we will see St. Vincent go from under center here. Man in motion. There'll be a play action fake from Walker. Got the tight end wide open in the flat. It's caught, and he'll get to about the 39-yard line. That time he was able to find Keith Gout out of Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania, the senior wideout.
Kalp doing a nice job there just to remain unnoticed by the Bison secondary, just slipping out in that pickup 5.
Yeah, if you're the Bison on that play, you got to play with better eyes. You know, and that's a product of this running game getting going from St. Vincent. That time Walker able to get outside of the contain of the pocket because the Bison linebackers and ends looking inside thinking about this running game. Once again, the RPO from Walker, and he throws a dart. And it's going to be another first down. Tackle on the play that time by Quajon McLaughlin. And boy, you just, not to gush too much over him, but just the poise that Brady Walker right now was showing in the pocket. They're really doing a nice job hitting on their RPO stuff, getting these Bison linebackers and safeties in the box to think and freeze before he's able to release these strikes that he's throwing.
Linnell, am I watching Brady Walker or Tom Brady?
Reminiscent. Walker will go with two backs in the backfield this time. Walker again off the play action. Pressure coming. Walker able to evade it. Ball thrown. Tipped. And a big hit put on by Danny Gilbert Jr. that did not allow that pass to be completed. That time it was Jermaine Snodgrass coming on the blitz, forcing Walker to get out of the pocket. And that is going to bring up second down for the Bearcats.
If you find ways to make Walker uncomfortable, he's going to force throws like we saw that one just happen. And when he does that, it's going to give you his opportunities to win the turnover battle.
Yeah, that time Brady Walker showing he's a little human there. Don't know if I agree with the decision, forcing that ball into double coverage. He's lucky it was not intercepted. St. Vincent will come back out on second down. Outside zone to Staceco. Staceco finds a cutback lane, and he's going to be close to a St. Vincent first down. And you got to applaud the effort of the receivers blocking here for St. Vincent, as they absolutely came down and set a crack on Jaheim Colbert.
Without a doubt, but at the same time, you got to credit the vision of Mike step back and move the chains.
Yeah, doing a nice job working this outside zone. This time RPO off of it. Ball is complete once again. We're going to get a penalty call. Ball's completed to Waderick. And they get a penalty called on St. Vincent. Looked to be an illegal man downfield. And that's what happens with this RPO stuff. Offensive line not knowing if it's a run or not. It'll back St. Vincent up. And boy, if it was a split second sooner there was Vickers, it looked like he might have had a chance at an interception as he broke hard on that slant from Waderick. We'll bring up first in a West Virginia country mile here for Brady Walker in this Bearcat offense.
Just in 15.
Yeah, it looks like way longer here from up in the booth. 4:45 left to go here in the opening quarter. Bethany's home opener here in this abbreviated. Brady Walker dropping back, looking, throwing. Walker's got a man deep. It is incomplete as that ball went right through the hands of senior wideout Phil Harding. And that time the Bison called a break as Phil Harding was able to get behind the coverage of sophomore cornerback E.J. Mitchell.
Whether you're Mitchell, defensive coordinator Dave Arnold, you got to be thanking your lucky stars on that one that Bearcats aren't getting set up for the extra point right now.
Yeah, that time Coach Arnold sending some pressure off the edge with Danny Gilbert, and that left the Bison corners on an island, one-on-one man coverage on the outside, and that time Phil Harding able to get on top of E.J. Mitchell, and the Bison are lucky that one was dropped. And Coach Smetanka will call time here for. So we've got 4:30 left to go here in the open quarter, and what feels like it's a long one. We saw Brady Walker get St. Vincent on the board. Keep it.
Absolutely, and even though, like you said, just 4:30 left in the first quarter, those couple of plays could be.
Yeah, definitely. Got to be thinking the Bison are looking back on some of those third downs on that opportunities where they were able to get St. Vincent defensively. And right now, I think the concern still got to be for the Bison stopping the running game of Stasko and David Marshall Jr. because that is what is allowing this RPO game with Brady Walker to become alive and stay open.
Absolutely, and when Brady Walker is executing that RPO, he's getting rid of the ball very quickly, and the Bison secondary has to be aware of that, knowing that if he pulls that ball back from Stasko or Marshall Jr., that it's coming out of his hand quick.
We'll see if Coach Arnold continues to bring pressure out of the secondary as they have struggled up front with this front four to generate any type of pressure on Brady Walker, who's done a nice job maneuvering the pocket here in the first quarter. Be a 2nd and 15. Walker by himself in the shotgun. They'll have trips to the right of the formation. Have a man motion into the backfield. Walker will throw it to him. Swing pass is out. That time E.J. Mitchell saying none of that in my house, making up for the coverage blow on the last play.
And right there, that's a good job by E.J. Mitchell, staying home, recognizing that they're going to run a zone, and whenever Andre Dixon swung out to his left, E.J. Mitchell was right there to swallow him up.
It'll be a 3rd down and 13 for the St. Vincent offense. Bison have struggled to get off the field here on 3rd down in this early one. Walker will be flanked by Stasko. They'll give it inside to Stasko on a sneak handoff, and they catch this Bison secondary off guard, and they're going to be close.
I think they're going to give it to him.
Wow. What a play call there to give it to Stasko, and he does it himself. It converts another 3rd down for the St. Vincent Bearcat offense. And Coach Mateka has been in a rhythm here offensively calling plays here because I was not expecting Mike Stasko to see the ball on 3rd and long.
I think that's one of those plays where you just hope to move it into a 4th and 5, 4th and 4 situation where you could potentially get the Bison and jump off sides. But Stasko found the lane and was able to move the sticks.
This time Marshall Jr. getting in on the action, and Sebastian Venerin making the play from his defensive tackle spot. They'll hold that St. Vincent run to a short 2-yard gain. Oh boy, I mean, we mentioned it in the opener, the physical running style of Mike Stasko, and he put it on full display on that last run, giving the Bison DBs all 215 pounds of him as he rumbled through that A-gap.
Danny Gilbert had a chance to bring him down about 3-4 yards short of the first, but Stasko just running right through Gilbert.
Yeah, Stasko is a physical runner. Said it in the opener. The Bison have got to tackle if they want to have success in this one. David Marshall Jr. tries to find the cutback, but he is met by a host of Bison. T.J. Crowder and Trejor Owens combining on the tackle that time, and that'll bring St. Vincent into another third down. This one 3rd and 8. And normally as a defense, you want to get the opposing team in a 3rd and 8 plus, and for the Bison tonight, it has been a struggle to get off the field on these downs. We'll see what defensive coordinator Dave Arnold can dial up here.
It's really going to be interesting as they updated the scoreboard. It's actually going to be a 3rd and 4. More of a play calling now for the Bearcats.
Yeah, that definitely keep things wide open. Going to go RPO. Walker gets it out of his hands, and it looks like they are going to have enough for another first down. That time Walker finding Evans off of the RPO.
It was Jordan Aldridge forcing Evans out of bounds there just past the marker, but that was a nice play from Aldridge, recognizing that Evans was close and he could have possibly forced him out just before the first.
Yeah, talking to Coach Arnold before the game, he said that his guys up front had to win some of these one-on-one matchups, but it's tough to do when this RPO is coming at you. It really slows you down and doesn't allow you to fully attack the quarterback, and we're seeing Brady Walker making the pay. Walker again, this time throws it out of the backfield, and the turf monster may have got him on that one as Phil Harding gets tripped up by nothing. And that'll bring up a 2nd down.
Walker's pass complete to number 15, Khalid McElroy.
Excuse me, that time it was McElroy, the 5'9" freshman out of Hagerstown, Maryland.
With this beat-up turf, it seems like that turf monster comes out more often than not.
We're going to have 2 backs in the backfield flanking Walker. It'll be Marshall Jr. and Stasko. RPO again. That ball is caught. We'll see the spot. They're going to mark him down at the 1-yard line, it looks like.
Walker's pass complete to number 16.
Keith Kelp, once again, getting up on the action. Kelp, a big 6-foot target for Brady Walker, and that time doing a nice job just boxing out the defender and bringing that slant in. And right now they're knocking on the 14-0 here as this first quarter winds down. Stasko tries to jump over the goal line. They're going to mark him short. Lobray Dixon mixing it up, and that is how we're going to wrap up this first quarter here from Bison Stadium. After 503 days of being away from Bison Stadium, we are back as they host St. Vincent. And the Bearcats up to a 7-0 early first quarter lead, and they are knocking on the door, Drew Vontayo.
Absolutely. You know, with talking to Coach Arnold, you said they got to find a way to make some plays. Now's an opportunity to do so. Stand your ground, don't let them in, and force them to kick 3.
Yeah, that drive, it was this RPO game of St. Vincent really giving this Bison defense fits. The running game early on in that first drive really set the tone for all of this because still rolling from the get-go.
Without him, especially that 3rd and 13 where he was able to find that lane and a mood killer for this Bison defense that was just one play away from getting off the field. Although we've said it before, we'll probably say it more this game, the Bison have to find a way to...
And they almost gave up a long touchdown there due to the man-to-man coverage on the back end. I think it's pregame. Muhammad Ilola, he's Snodgrass, Trejor Owens, the guys in these front 7, they got to step up and make plays, you know, in the pass rushing game because they have given Brady Walker all day to throw, and he is absolutely tortured.
They do well on the early downs, but then, like I said before, they take their foot off the gas on 3rd down and give Brady Walker way too much time to throw the ball.
Brady Walker will go under center again. It'll be 2nd and goal for the Bearcats, knocking on the door, trying to extend this lead to a 2-touchdown one. Hand off, and he'll walk right in for a St. Vincent Bearcat touchdown. It's Mike Stasko, the 5'11 senior out of Pennsylvania, coming off a pretty good opening week against Grove City where he averaged 4.7 a tote. This St. Vincent offensive line is imposing their will up front on the Bison defense.
Quarter Linnell, it's a very young defensive front for the Bison, and there's going to be growing pains whenever you have that young defensive front, but you just got to keep working through them and find ways to build your confidence. You know, with this young defensive front, it's going to be very easy for them to lose confidence. And whether it be head coach Bill Garvey, defensive coordinator Dave Arnold, they've got to find a way to just keep saying, hey, keep doing what you're doing well, and here's where we can improve. But, again, here are things you're doing well. A compliment sandwich, I like to call it.
Yeah, and the complimentary football has not been around here. Is this offense has struggled. They've yet to cross the 50 yet in this one. And talking to the coaches during the week, they stressed how important it was for them to play complimentary football. We saw the special teams get them backed up to where they started to drive from their own 9-yard line, and it's not a recipe for success, Drew Von Sile.
Absolutely. You could have the steel curtain up front defensively, and if your offense can't move the ball, you're not going to win a game.
Bison offense and Dom Salinatro will get another crack at it. We mentioned in the pregame getting him going offensively and getting this offense in the 3rd and shorts was going to be key for them converting, but penalties and other circumstances have had other plans for this Bison offense. Gonzalez to kick off. The line drive kick returned by Sirhan Smith along the Bethany sideline. Smith unable to make a man miss, and it'll be taken down at about the Bison 24-yard line, and that is where Dom Salinatro and this Bethany offense will go back to work.
And now's the drive the Bison have to get their offense clicking. They've had 2 opportunities thus far. They picked up a first down last time. They slowly got to build on that, and now's the time to put this Bearcats defense in their place and show them that you're not just going to roll over.
Bison will come out in the double set. Salinatro will be flanked. Run their RPO game of their own. McWhorter makes a man miss, and not much blocking there. They tried to make a man miss, just nothing there. That'll bring the Bison into 2nd and long once again.
Sometimes you just got to beat them at their own game, and if the Bison can run that RPO successfully here tonight, then that's what it's going to take to be successful.
Bison showing the double set once again. Salinatro getting instructions from Coach Garvey on the sideline. Salinatro dropping back, looking. Salinatro looking, throws. And it's incomplete as he overshot Brennan Seacrest. Looked to be a miscommunication on that one.
Seacrest looking like he was wanting that one on a hitch route just beyond the 40. Salinatro wanting him to go long. And if Seacrest had ran that route the way Salinatro had wanted him to, I think he's walking into the end zone for 6.
Another 3rd and long for the Bison this time, 3rd and 10. Salinatro steps up in the pocket. Salinatro tucks and runs. Salinatro will be close to a Bison first down, and it looks like he will get it. Dom Salinatro getting out of character there, tucking the ball and going to get a first down, and that's what this Bison offense needs if they're going to continue to move the chains.
Hey, we saw it from the Bearcats. Brady Walker doing it himself. Now it's Salinatro's turn.
Bison right back on the ball quickly. Salinatro inside handoff. It'll be Colton Stoneman. Stoneman finds a cutback lane and will run over a few Bearcats on his way to a nice 7-yard gain on first down.
And that's what we talked about in the pregame, getting Stoneman going. And it'll really open the playbook up for Salinatro.
Yeah, the Bison starting to get rolling here offensively. Showing good balance on this drive. Screen thrown out to McWhorter. He'll make a man miss, and he's got enough for another Bison first down. So after not registering a single first down in that opening quarter, we've got back-to-back first downs here as Salinatro's starting to get into a rhythm here.
And that's really important for this young wide receiver group for the Bison, trusting your veteran quarterback, allowing him to get into a rhythm and slowly move the sticks.
Low snap for Salinatro. He's able to control it. Tries to get out of the pocket, and that time throws it away. That time the ball hit the turf before Salinatro was able to corral it. Had nothing else better to do but to try to get it out to Stoneman. That'll bring up a 2nd and 10 offensively for the Bison. Bison will come out, trips to the left of the formation. Colton Stoneman will be the running back flanking Salinatro. Salinatro looking. Ball caught by McWhorter. McWhorter will cut back and get back to the line of scrimmage. As that time wasn't much there for Davon McWhorter. Be another 3rd and long here for the Bison. Like to see them go back to that quick game. You know, running some slants and stuff here, trying to get the ball thrown vertically here instead of just all the horizontal stuff.
Absolutely. If you, like you said, throw the ball vertically, gives you better opportunities to move the chains.
Going to go with a draw. Colton Stoneman will get to about the 50-yard line, and we'll see if Coach Garvey has a decision to make here. Depending on the spot, they're going to send out the punting unit. And the Bison now with an opportunity getting a couple first downs, having an opportunity to flip the field here with your special teams. That's what you talk about. You don't need them to be perfect offensively. Get a couple first downs. That way you can flip the field here and get St. Vincent pinned in their own territory.
Absolutely. And if Salinetro can execute this punt here, pin the Bearcats inside their own 20, then it's going to be a large task for Brady Walker to move his team down.
They're going to run a fake punt here. It's going to be Jermaine Snodgrass, and Snodgrass has got the first down and more as he is taken out of bounds at about the 25-yard line along the St. Vincent sideline, and multiple flags thrown.
There was one thrown during the play and two thrown after the play. You have to believe the two after are going to be offsetting unsportsmanlike conduct penalties.
Boy, and just not what you need here. You get a stroke of good luck here, catching St. Vincent off guard with the fake punt. And I just hope, depending on the word of the official, that the Bison didn't do anything to harm themselves here and negate that positive play. Beach, Florida. And then it looks like they also tacked on an unsportsmanlike conduct. They accepted the latter of the two penalties, and the Bison will have to punt once again, this time a little bit further backed up. You're able to get two first downs, get into St. Vincent territory for the first time all night, and then two crucial special teams penalties as Salinetro will punt from his own 17-yard line.
It's a 20-yard difference between where the ball was on the fake punt compared to where it was snapped from just now.
It's a high-hanging punt from Salinetro that'll take a St. Vincent bounce. We've got another flag thrown at about the 40-yard line. And we'll see what the call is. But, boy, I mean, that hurts. It's extremely tough to have that happen to you. Just two back-breaking penalties after you're able to catch St. Vincent off guard with the fake punt. And Buddy's a good friend of mine. I haven't seen Jermaine Snodgrass run that fast ever. The sophomore linebacker was moving out there. Unfortunately, the penalty will negate the effort. And Brady Walker and this St. Vincent offense will come back onto the field. And quite frankly, they are running a clinic right now on how to get this RPO down. As they are absolutely shredding this Bison defense, keeping them on their toes. And, Drew, this is a big opportunity for this Bison defense to help their guys out here. Getting a stop. And once again, though, talk about the complimentary football. They're putting another tough spot here. St. Vincent starting with the ball in their own territory. In Bison territory, so they're going to be looking at a field goal here soon, depending on how many yards they can get. As we've got 11:18 left to go here in the opening half.
The Bison have to find a way to stay out of penalty trouble. That's killing them with field position.
RPO game. He stopped in the backfield. No, cutback lane for Marshall Jr., and he rumbles forward for a gain of 9. And the Bison looked like they had multiple opportunities to have David Marshall Jr. stop for a tackle for loss.
When you have the size like Marshall does, it's hard to cut back, and he made that look easy.
We talked about it in the pregame. You got to stop the run when playing St. Vincent. It just opens up this RPO game that Brady Walker in his second season has looked to have simply mastered here in this first half, as he has made excellent decisions with the football. As you see the freedom they give him at the line of scrimmage with the check with me. After they tried to get the Bison to jump. Walker will be lined up alongside Staceco. Staceco makes a man miss, and Staceco will have another St. Vincent first down and another penalty flag thrown.
26, Staceco on the carry. Time marker down on
We'll see what it is. It has been a laundry-littered first half here, Drew Von Sayo.
Not in a good way for the Bison, to say the least.
We'll see what the call is. A personal foul called on junior defensive tackle Evan Wachter out of Needmore, Pennsylvania, and just an absolute kick in the gut, adding insult to injury after the Staceco run. Will now set up St. Vincent with excellent field position, and after just a few plays, they've already found themselves deep in Bison territory, looking to add to this 14-0 lead.
As we said, it's a field position battle, and the penalties are killing the Bison here. If you're Coach Garvey, you have to snap some sense into your boys in the locker room at halftime. Say, hey, don't be the bad guys out there.
RPO again. Walker able to get it away. He'll get it to his big tight end, number 89, Cody Evans. Jermaine Snodgrass there, but Brady Walker doing a nice job. And St. Vincent's drive will continue here.
Brady Walker had to know the Bison weren't going to sit back all game and give him that time in the pocket. So he had to, like I said, he had to have been expecting it, and he was there able to get rid of the ball just in time.
Walker again hands off to Staceco, and he'll walk in for a St. Vincent Bearcat touchdown. And crowd absolutely silenced as they have come out here on the road and jumped out to a 22-0 start. Credit to St. Vincent. This is another young program just in his second year at the helm. And imagine having your second offseason having to deal with the implications of COVID-19, and they have handled it well and have come out here and put their foot in the rear end of the Bison here in this first half.
Coach, young players, get them fired up. Even though they're down 3 scores now, there's still a lot of football left to be played.
This Bison football team keep on plugging. No matter what the scoreboard may read, it's only a 3-touchdown game. Unfortunately, though, St. Vincent will get the ball back at halftime. But it has been a nightmarish start. Here absolutely killed them here in this first half. They found a way to get things going offensively on their last drive, converting 2 first downs. Salinatro getting one with his legs and then throwing one through the air. They were able to convert a 4th and short on a fake punt their last time out, but that was negated by 2 penalties. And it set up St. Vincent with beautiful field position, and they capitalized with a Mike Staceco touchdown.
It's like a child on Christmas morning. When you're given a gift, you're going to unwrap it as soon as you can.
Gonzalez will send another punt. This time, it'll be Rob Taylor. Robert Taylor slipping and falling at the 27-yard line, and that is where Dom Salinatro and company will come back out offensively. Interesting, we see Rob Taylor called for the first time. The freshman back from Northwestern High School in Maryland. More on this freshman group that the Bison have brought in. I mean, it's a young group all around the team. And as we talked to Coach Garvey during the week, he said, we're not really a young team, more of an inexperienced team. And here comes a change of pace at running back. Freshman running back, number 8, Amos Porter. Porter will take it. Porter will get about a yard or so over the right side. Running behind Caleb King and Braylon Sibley. Struggling to find the holes and create any type of push here in the run negatively. Having them continuing to be in 2nd and long. Salinatro takes the snap, looking. Ball intended for Rob Taylor near the sticks. Ball looked to be a little bit behind him. It'll be incomplete, and it'll bring up another 3rd down and long for the Bison, this time 3rd and 8.
Was Darius May there for the Bearcats, and that ball kind of hung up in the air for a quick second. I thought he was going to haul that one in and be running the other way.
Amos Porter flanking Salinatro. Pressure coming off the edge. Salinatro evades the rush. Salinatro just going to try to get rid of it along the Bison sideline. As pressure came off of that left side. Defense, and boy, credit to Salinatro evading that one. Turning a bad play to what could have been a worse one.
Absolutely.
They had a penalty called on St. Vincent. Doesn't look like it'll change the decision here with Coach Bill Garvey as this Bison special teams unit getting a workout here. Gonna have to be taking a look at the statistics here. Salinatro throwing more passes or punts.
Without a doubt.
Good punt from Salinatro. It's muffed. And the Bison will get possession of the football. The special teams break that they needed. It was a low line driving punt from Salinatro that the Bison were able to corral. And hopefully that will swing some positive juju in the way of this Bison football team.
Hey, you just mentioned it. The special teams were getting a workout. That time the workout paying off. That line drive punt from Salinatro. And the Bearcats this time giving a gift to the Bison.
Yeah, for our viewers and streamers not from around the area, there have been 25 to 30 mile an hour wind gusts all morning long. And you look down on the field there, wind kind of still blowing, obviously not as hard as it was earlier, but you got to think it helped that Salinatro punt. He was only able to get about a yard.
What happens a lot of time is that, especially in games like this, where your offense struggles to get the run game going, to use his arm, and when you do that, it one-dimensionalizes your offense.
Will throw, and it is incomplete. As he tried to get it to Sirhan Smith, and that'll bring the Bison offense into another 3rd and long. And boy, you'd love to see them capitalize off of that special teams turnover with some points here on the offensive end.
It was a gift from the Bearcats punt return team. And pending something good here for the Bison, it's going to be a gift going right down the drain.
Yeah, these Bison wideouts got to do a better job getting some separation here and helping Salinatro out. Salinatro drop back to pass. Ball is high, nearly intercepted. As Salinatro was going for Davon McWhorter. That time the ball was tipped.
It was Kyle Kuhn with the deflection there.
Coach Garvey none too pleased right now with the performance of his offense. As the Bison are going to send on the punt unit one more time. It has been an absolute struggle to find yards and first downs here offensively for the Bison.
Thought for a second there Coach Garvey was going to show some aggression and go for it on 4th and long right at midfield, but deciding to keep it smart and send out the punt team.
Yeah, that time another special teams penalty. Looks like they're going to get Tim Mickens for the false start. And the Bison once again going in the opposite direction. We mentioned the struggles of this Bison offense, well documented. Coming into this one, it is a young group with not a lot of experience offensively. Salinatro, the veteran of the bunch, has played a lot of snaps in his 3 years here. See, gets another good punt that'll take a Bison bounce. And it looks like it'll be down at about the 20.5-yard line. And that is where Brady Walker come back out, looking to be on the attack once more. It's been a stellar night here for the sophomore out of Monroeville, Pennsylvania. Brady Walker showing his best stuff here, giving this Bison defense all they can handle.
Absolutely, and like we've seen so far, the Bison are bringing pressure at times, but even when they do, Walker showing that poise in the pocket, staying calm.
It'll be Brady Walker under center with David Marshall Jr. as the back. Walker again, misdirection handoff, and he is absolutely stuffed. That time, Treasure Owens coming down. Meeting Marshall Jr., in the backfield. And the Bison are going to need more of that defensively if they're going to want to slow down this St. Vincent offense, who has, quite frankly, Drew, gotten whatever they wanted here in this first half.
Was Brennan Smith that time helping Owens bring down Marshall Jr.?
RPO once again. This time it's broken up. That time it was junior corner Keon Thompson on the coverage. It's interesting. Didn't notice that Thompson had checked into the ball game. The Bison came out with sophomore E.J. Mitchell starting opposite of Dodrick Vickers. That time Thompson doing a nice job driving on the football and causing the incompletion. And the Bison once again have got St. Vincent into a 3rd and long. We'll see if they can get off the field this time. See Brady Walker going with the hard count there, try to get the Bison to give up what coverage they're in defensively. Be a single high look for the Bison. Brady Walker looking all day to throw. He'll hit the underneath man, and Treasure Owens comes up and makes the stop. And the Bison will get off the field here and hopefully put this offense with some good field position.
It'll be the first time we've seen the Bearcats go 3 and out in this one, and with Treasure Owens putting his foot down there saying, nope, you're not doing that again.
And that time it was beautiful coverage on the back end by the Bison. Walker had nowhere to go, and he threw that check down, and Treasure Owens, Big Glizzy, all over it. Another Gonzalez punt will be a short one. And McWhorter will catch it at about the 47-yard line. It'll be the best starting field position of the evening for this Bethany Bison offense, as the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down, a welcoming sight.
So the start of a momentum shift for the Bison. Like we said, finding a way to force a 3 and out. Now it's the offense's turn to come out, pick up some first downs with the chains, get yourself in a field goal position at least for Sean Cole.
Yeah, if you want any chance of winning this game, you need points on this drive, down 21-0 with 6:12 left to go in the first half. St. Vincent getting the ball coming out of the locker room. You need points if you're the Bison. Inside handoff, Colton Stoneman makes the initial man miss, and he'll pick up about 7 on 1st down. Colton Stoneman fighting his way, and we like to see this Bison offense move with a little bit more tempo here. Salinatro will take the snap. Another inside handoff. A huge hole for Colton Stoneman. Colton Stoneman busting through the St. Vincent defense down to about the 25-yard line. And a pleasant sight to see for this Bison offense. Colton Stoneman running hard.
When you get Stoneman going, he's a very effective runner. The hard part is this offensive line is very young, being able to make the holes for him, winning that battle of the trench.
Salinatro, RPO to McWhorter. Ball's on the turf. And fortunately for the Bison, possession will stay with them. And boy, had to hold your breath on that one, as we thought this positive swing of momentum had just left town. It'll be a 2nd 10 for Salinatro and the Bison offense. Salinatro rolling to his right. Salinatro looking, throwing. He'll take a shot. Deep ball intended for Sirhan Smith will fall incomplete in the back of the end zone. It'll bring up a 3rd and 10 for the Bison. And Drew, we were watching warm-ups here. You think we're in close enough in Sean Cole territory? Maybe see this field goal. You can try to get some points here.
I definitely believe so. I was watching warm-ups earlier, and I saw Sean Cole hitting ones from 50, 52, just inside the 30.
Salinatro takes a snap. It's another inside handoff on 3rd down. Colton Stoneman makes a few men miss. Stoneman to the outside. Colton Stoneman will run deep into St. Vincent Bearcat territory and pick up a much-needed Bison 1st down.
Well, with that, I think we can scratch the idea of sending Sean Cole out 3.
Yeah, definitely. Now that you're this close, you got to try to punch it in for 6 here Bison right back on the football.
Give it right back to Stoneman.
Boy, oh boy. And just as you felt they were taking 2 steps forward, here's 1 step backwards. And if you want to have success in college football, one of the cardinal sins are penalties inside of your own red zone, stopping you from getting scoring opportunities. And right now the Bison are going in the wrong direction on a drive, Drew Von Sire, where they absolutely are desperate for points.
One thing I will say, though, is to put a positive spin, it allows them to open up the playbook some more and run something they may not have been able to on the goal line.
Will take a shot. Seacrest. Is that ball not thrown in the field of play? It'll bring up another second down here. That time, if you're Salinatro, Brennan Seacrest, a pretty big target. Got to make that ball catchable and inbounds to give your big wide receiver a chance to go up and get it.
I was just going to say, give him a jump ball. I'd bet money every single time Seacrest is going to win that one.
6'2", 180 pounds is the freshman Brennan Seacrest out of Weirton, West Virginia. Salinatro under center. Boy, that time, poor timing there as they tried to get the jet sweep to Davon McWhorter. And you see when the timing is off on a play like that, McWhorter having to stop his momentum to try to take that handoff. We'll have an injured Bearcat down on the field as we've got 4:12 left to go here in this opening half here from Bison Stadium. It is the home opener for the green and white. It has been a whopping 503 days since the Bison last took the field here at Bison Stadium. PAC action was a November 9th victory against Teal here at home on Senior Day. Back in what seems like years ago, right? In 2019. Obviously, we've been dealing with a condensed and abbreviated schedule due to COVID-19, but we are proud and happy to be back calling PAC football for you here on the Bethany Broadcasting Network. And for our viewers just joining us, the Bison have dug themselves quite the hole here in the first half. A 21-0 St. Vincent Bearcat lead. Both teams coming off week 1 losses. St. Vincent traveled to Grove City and took a loss to them, as the Bison coming off a game where they traveled to Westminster and suffered a loss at the hands of the Titans. Salinatro boot to his right. Salinatro looking, throwing. Ball is complete and knocked out of bounds. We'll see what the Bison decide to do here with it. He got it to Sirhan Smith.
This offense isn't going off the field. They're going for it.
Yeah, I think you're in that territory where you got to be thinking about going for it here on fourth down. Be interesting to see what Coach Garvey draws up here in a situation where you absolutely need points. Bison will go doubles to both sides of the formation. Colton Stoneman flanking Salinatro. Pressure coming from St. Vincent. Salinatro throws a ball that is caught. It is a Brennan Seacrest touchdown. That was a nice job by this Bison offensive line picking up the pressure from St. Vincent, allowing Salinatro to stand in there and throw a dart to Brennan Seacrest. His second touchdown in this young season as he got into the end zone last weekend against Westminster.
We saw towards the end of that play the pocket slowly collapsing, Salinatro just getting rid of it in time, finding Seacrest.
Yeah, that time, a pleasant sight to see. Salinatro exhibiting the poise as Sean Cole's extra point is wide right. So that will keep this St. Vincent Bearcat lead at 15. As the Bearcats up 21-6 with 3:19 left to go here in the opening half. It was a Brennan Seacrest touchdown and a couple of Colton Stoneman runs that got the Bison down deep into St. Vincent territory, and they were able to capitalize on a 4th down strike from Dom Salinatro.
On that drive. And it's baby steps for them, slowly developing a rhythm, trying to climb their way back into this one.
As we mentioned a few moments ago, St. Vincent with a chance now to double up here with 3:19 left to go in the half. As we mentioned, they get ball coming out of the locker room for the second half. And other than that last drive, it has been smooth sailing for Brady Walker in this offense. That time it was a nice stop. St. Vincent in the 3rd and long. They were able to get off the field. See if they can get another stop here. Try to get some more points before they head into the locker room. And Drew, I don't mean to overemphasize the moment of the situation, but so far this is the biggest drive defensively of the season.
Oh,
for the
without
Bison.
question.
You know, you have an opportunity right now to get yourself back in this ball game with a 3 and out. It is absolutely crucial that Bison get the field here. It's a nice high kick from Sean Cole. As it is a good St. Vincent return, as the Bearcats will get it to about the 30-yard line, and that is where Brady Walker will come back up on the attack.
Going back to what we said before the kickoff, I don't know what happens in this last 3:13 of the first half. It could vary from a 3-score game.
You know, this defense has, done their job for the most part here in this one. They've been put in some tough situations. Now it's time for them to make a play for this offense. After Saladetro and company just went and scored a touchdown, you got to get off the field here if you're the green and white. Have Walker keep it. Walker able to get to the sideline in a beautiful block along the St. Vincent sideline. It was Keith Kelp who had his hands on Dodrick Vickers, preventing him from making the tackle. And you mentioned it. It's the 3 complementary plays of each other. It's that RPO, it's the give, and then it's the keeper from Brady Walker. They've got this Bison defensive front on their toes, and when you're continuing to see constant RPO action as a defensive lineman, it is hard to get upfield and make plays consistently.
And it was Jordan Aldridge that time biting on the fake handoff to Stasko.
Walker again. This time will keep it. Walker. This time, Walker chased down by Brennan Smith, the freshman out of McDonald, Pennsylvania. And you see it, Brady Walker not afraid to keep it. 6'1", 175. He's got a nice frame and is able to withstand some of these hits, as he has been involved in the ball action all night long here. Walker out again. This time hits his tight end along the St. Vincent sideline for another first down. That time is Keith Kelp. That time, like the play call there from Coach Matenka, something quick for 2nd and short to get the ball out of Walker's hands. And they're doing a number on this soft coverage that the Bison are playing. See, these Bison corners are aligned about 7 yards off of the ball, and they've made them pay most of the night here. And an interesting switch here. As you see, they may bring some pressure here. As we've got linebackers all in the A-gaps, we'll see if they'll show it. They'll bluff the pressure. Brady Walker will keep it, throws to the middle of the field, and is complete for another St. Vincent first down. It's Keith Kelp once again. And Brady Walker is out there dealing. That time, the Bison defense bluffed the pressure, but Brady Walker able to beat the coverage with that right arm.
You have to question whether or not they should have bluffed that pressure. And as we've seen here already tonight with Malayo Irfin out for the Bearcats, Keith Kelp has taken over as Walker's number 1 receiver.
Yeah, the big 6-foot senior wide receiver out of Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania. Walker again from the shotgun. Walker looking, throws, deep shot, is caught. It'll be a St. Vincent touchdown, and guess who it was?
Keith Kelp.
Once again, Keith Kelp. That time, once again, a beautiful pocket for Brady Walker. And if you're junior corner Keon Thompson on that one, you got to get your head around and play the football.
Without a doubt. And Brennan Smith was chasing Walker in the pocket. Looked like he was held for a brief second. No call. And that no call being held could have been the difference maker.
In the absolute worst case scenario here for the Bison, St. Vincent ended up with a touchdown here before the half. And as we mentioned earlier, the Bearcats get the ball coming out of the locker room, so a chance to double up.
Brady Walker in some pain on the sidelines after taking a wallop of a hit. He's being tended to by the Bearcat medical staff.
Yeah, kudos to Brady Walker. As you mentioned, he took a shot standing in there that time as the Bison had some pressure off of that right edge. it was unable to get there. And I thought the Bison defensive end had a chance for a strip sack there. But Brady Walker doing a nice job climbing the pocket and delivering another strike. And he has been absolutely on the money all night long here. The sophomore out of Monroeville, Pennsylvania, bringing his best stuff here to Bison Stadium. It'll be Gonzalez once again to kick it off deep to the Bison. They'll have 1:04 left to go before entering the locker room. It'll be interesting to see the philosophical choice they decide to make. Will they keep it on the ground here, play it conservative, and just try to get into the locker room? Or will they try to be aggressive here and try to get some more points here going into the half, knowing St. Vincent's going to get the ball coming right out?
I feel like you've got to be aggressive. You're down 3 scores with a minute left. Find a way to take a shot downfield. You've still got 3 timeouts in your back pocket if you're Coach Garvey.
I think more importantly, for this Bison defense, they got to get things corrected at halftime in the locker room. You know, this is back-to-back weeks they have come out and have not played very well from the get-go here, and it's cost them. Their inability to stop the run has allowed Brady Walker and this offense to get things moving as Sirhan Smith took a lick over on the St. Vincent sideline, drawing the praise of the teammates of the Bearcats. Salinatro will come out with 56 seconds left to work on the game clock. A little bit of a summary for you all just joining us. It's Mike Stasko getting things going for St. Vincent. Brady Walker's gotten in on the action as well, and Keith Kelp, the latest to score for St. Vincent. They'll come out firing here. Out route to Sirhan Smith. And he'll get about 9 along the St. Vincent sideline. They're going to say a first down. So the official will say Sirhan Smith earned enough yards to convert the first down here. 51 seconds for Salinatro. Once again, throwing the speed out to Sirhan Smith. This time he'll get 5, and a nice job by Salinatro identifying this soft coverage that St. Vincent is playing here at the end of the half.
And I mean, like we said, down 3 scores, you got to take advantage of that all day. If they're going to give it to you, force it down their throat and dare them to stop you.
This time Salinatro will take the shot intended for Chris Williams. That time it's incomplete as the ball came out a little high, and that'll bring up a 3rd down and 4 with about 45 seconds left to go here in the opening half. Bison scored on a Brennan Seacrest touchdown on 4th down to get themselves on the board. But other than that, it's been a struggle for them offensively. Salinatro takes a shot downfield as he rolls out. It'll bring up 4th down with about 39 seconds left to go. And we'll see what Coach Garvey and company decide to do. I'd have to imagine they're going to punt the football here. They'll prolong the decision, but end up doing the expected. It'll be Colin Sheehan to long snap for the Bison.
I question Salinatro's decision-making there on that pass. Looked to be a very tight window on that far sideline.
Snap is good from Sheehan. Salinatro, another high-hanging punt, will bounce and take a Bison roll as the ball will end up rolling just inside of the 20-yard line. And with about 27 seconds left to go here in the opening half, I expect to see Brady Walker and company sit on the football and take their nice lead into the locker room.
Without a doubt, don't try to force anything here. You try to run the football or even throw it, force a turnover, momentum shifts to the Bison going into the locker room. They're going to want to avoid that at all costs.
Yeah, especially backed up so deep into your own territory. But they've done enough here offensively in that first half, right, to feel comfortable sitting on it going into the locker room. It has been the Brady Walker show here. The sophomore quarterback has come out and put on a clinic. And Coach Matenka's offense of how to run this RPO. And right now St. Vincent is clicking on all cylinders. And that is how we will go into the locker room. See if they'll have one more play. Nope. And that is how we will go into the locker room. Here, the home opener here from Bison Stadium. The first time Bethany competing in PAC action here at home in 503 days. They find themselves down 28-6 to the St. Vincent Bearcats.
Bison just have to find a way to shake things up, get it going offensively. Defensively, it's shifted around where the Bison are now forcing Brady Walker to make plays himself, and if they keep him in check, which they've been inconsistent with here tonight, then it can really open things up for Dom Salinetro on this offense.
I definitely agree. It'll be interesting to watch moving forward, whether or not they're able to cut into this lead in the second half. We'll see you guys after the locker room break.
turf.
Yeah, the senior-led backfield has done a nice job imposing their will on this Bison defense. And look for these Marshall Jr. and Stasko runs to start hitting here in this second half if the Bison can't get anything going defensively. RPO game, they'll throw it out to Stasko. One-on-one in open field is a good tackle made. That time it was Dodrick Vickers on Stasko, bringing him down. Vickers has had a quiet evening. Hasn't had much action come his way. The reigning defensive rookie of the year, reigning newcomer of the year for the entire conference. Able to make the good open field tackle on that one. And right now, the Bison have St. Vincent in a 2nd and 6. And we mentioned how important it was for them to get off the field here on this opening drive of the first half.
Absolutely. They've given up a couple first downs already. And that's not the way you want to start things in the second half.
Walker will keep it. RPO game once again. Tackle is made by E.J. Mitchell, and once again Keith Kelp pulling in another reception, and he has been active. The 6', 175 senior out of Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania, coming off a 8-reception game last week against Grove City, picking up right where he left off.
He's lined up against Vickers. Vickers is giving him a pretty big cushion there to cut inside. And Brady Walker's just finding that all day.
And you notice that once again, the RPO action freezing these linebackers and defensive backs of the Bison, making it tough to stop. This time Walker will pull again. That time he throws it behind the line of scrimmage. Ball is loose. And it'll be retained by St. Vincent. That time, a little triple option look there. Brady Walker electing to throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage, and it's going to cost this St. Vincent offense a few yards here. Now they're backed up in the 2nd and 10.
Brady Walker has to be thankful that Andre Dixon was there to follow on that one.
Has got to be careful on that one.
Rare mistake from the sophomore quarterback of the Bearcats.
Another inside handoff to Stasko. He finds a cutback lane. Mike Stasko is off to the races deep inside of Bison territory as he'll be tackled at about the 17-yard line. Mike Stasko, see him put that left foot in the ground, finding that cutback lane and getting downhill physically.
And that's what he does best, whether it be in the trenches or in open space. Vertical runner for St. Vincent, picks up as many yards as he can get.
Yeah, and Stasko has shown a little bit of quick twitch to his game. Normally we're used to seeing Stasko as a north and south type of runner. On that time, you see him make that initial move horizontally, but everything after that is going straight downhill. Walker again, play fake, ball thrown inside, and it is caught for a St. Vincent touchdown. That time it was Jeremy Waterick for the St. Vincent touchdown, and that time Waterick doing another good job sealing off that Bison defensive back, sort of like boxing out for a rebound. We're going to throw into a target like Waterick, 6', 185 out of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. The converted safety turned wide receiver gets on the board, and St. Vincent will extend this lead to 35-6, and the Bison have been absolutely shell-shocked as St. Vincent has come out once again and put up points.
It just goes to show the amount of depth that this Bearcat team has, using Waterick wide left, finding him open for 6.
Yeah, right now, a lot of questions, not a lot of answers for this Bison bunch defensively here is, you know, Brady Walker and company have put on an absolute clinic in how to run this RPO game. We mentioned it in the opener. That was going to be the key to whether or not the Bison were going to be able to have success in this ball game. Could they slow down this two-headed rushing attack of Marshall Jr. and Mike Stasko? And through about 3.5 quarters, it has been no bueno.
To say the least.
Bison will be back at home in 2 weeks to host Waynesburg. Got to make it out of this one first. A 35-6 lead. And it has been a tough night for the Bison on both sides of the ball. Devon McWhorter thought he found the lane, but he'll be tripped up at about the 26-yard line. And we'll see this Bethany offense for the first time here in the second half. It was a half to forget offensively for the Bison, converting just 2 of 9 on third down. Salinatro 9 of 21 for just 48 yards. The bright spot was the touchdown pass to Brennan Seacrest on that fourth down. Colton Stoneman has had a good night statistically here, but when you're down by this much, it's hard to continue to rely on the run game. 8 carries for 53 yards, averaging 6.6 a tick. Still go right back to Colton Stoneman. Bo Jackson Jr., I like to call him. Colton Stoneman doubles as a member of the Bethany Bison baseball team, playing some shortstop for Coach Thomas's squad. He's bounced back from his performance last weekend where he fumbled on the first play from scrimmage. Have not seen him put the ball on the turf tonight to this point, which is a good sign. They'll throw a screen to the right side to Brennan Seacrest. Seacrest makes a couple Bearcats miss. He's going to be about a yard shy of a first down.
Now that it's 3rd and 1, the Bison have their entire playbook open to them with what they can go to pick up this first down.
I know we said it before, talking about a drive that needed to end in points. Forget all the other drives. This one is now the most important one. They need points on this drive, and it will start with a third down conversion here. As we mentioned, just 2 for 9 in that first down. In that first half, trying to convert third downs. Yeah, hand off to Colton Stoneman. He'll bounce off the back of one of his linemen. The line judge on the St. Vincent sideline going to mark a first down. So Colton Stoneman able to pick up the first down for the Bison. That'll keep this drive going.
Stoneman getting just enough of a push there from his offensive line. Bit of a last-ditch effort to move the chains.
Salinatro will motion McWhorter across the formation. Salinatro will pitch it to McWhorter. McWhorter tried to find a block that time. He was able to pick up about 2 or 3. As he'll set the Bison up here with a second down and about 7. Nice drive here by the Bison. Got to continue to move the chains here if they want to cut into this St. Vincent lead. Good blitz pickup from Colton Stoneman. And that ball just behind Sirhan Smith. As Dom Salinatro has got to be more sharp than that. That time Sirhan Smith doing a nice job getting some separation. Salinatro's just got to gun that one in there.
Like you mentioned, Colton Stoneman with that bit of a chop block there, giving Salinatro just a couple extra seconds to get that throw off.
Salinatro again on third down. Will throw. Ball out in front of Seacrest. And he's unable to corral it. Boy, that time, a ball tough to corral. As Salinatro may have put that one a little too far out in front of the big freshman receiver out of Weirton.
Well, Linnell, you stole the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say that exact same thing.
Nonetheless, it'll bring the punt unit back on for the Bison. We saw earlier in that first half a fake punt be converted, and it was Jermaine Snodgrass that ended up picking up the first before the penalty negated it. Salinatro with a little bit of a rugby kick, a high hanging one toward the Bethany sideline. It'll take a Bison bounce and will fall dead at about the 34-yard line. That is where Brady Walker and company will come back out looking to get some more points. 35-6 St. Vincent lead. Here in the home opener for the Bethany Bison, and the first time we have seen PAC action on the football field here at Bison Stadium in 503 days, Drew Von Sayo. You've heard us mention it multiple times throughout the broadcast. We're fortunate enough to have the commissioner of the conference in attendance tonight. And none of this would be possible without his work and the work of the athletic directors and SIDs across the conference, allowing for this abbreviated spring schedule. And it looks as if they have made a change at quarterback for St. Vincent. Checking into the game is a senior out of Manassas, Virginia, number 1, Lorenzo Cota. He'll keep it on the zone read look. Get about 2 before he's taken down by veteran. The hobbled St. Vincent lineman coming off the field is David Schultz from Savannah, Georgia, the freshman right guard.
When you're up 29 about halfway through the third quarter, you can feel confident in making that change at quarterback to bring in Cota with his veteran leadership and experience as a senior.
Cota again will hand it off. Cota is hit as he throws. Ball's picked up and scooped up by the Bison. They're going to rule it. They're going to rule it down.
You're going to say it was an incomplete pass.
They're going to rule an incompletion. Wow. Well, we'd like to have the benefit of instant replay in this scenario, as it looked like it was a bang-bang call there for the official, as pressure was put on by Jordan Aldridge. And Cota looked like he may have gotten that one knocked out, but the refs disagree, and possession will stay with the Bearcats, as they'll have a 3rd and 6 upcoming.
Is that the Division III equivalent of the tuck rule?
Cota checking to the Bearcats sideline with Coach Matenka. Cota will ride it, keep it himself. Cota looking. Tried to throw the RPO over to the sideline. That ball was too high. And the St. Vincent offense will be forced to punt. A nice job there by the Bison defensively, getting St. Vincent off the field here, doing their job here to start this opening half. After giving up a touchdown on the initial drive, a nice bounce back for Coach Arnold's group, able to get off the field.
And as we've seen here tonight, it hasn't been perfect for this Bison defense by any means, but there are glimmers of hope for them to turn things around. The offense just has to get going.
Low line drive punt that takes a St. Vincent Bearcat bounce. And the ball will be downed at about the 8-yard line, and that is where Salinatro and company will start their second drive of the second half.
If you're a Bison punt returner, I get that ball's bouncing, but you got to find a way to scoop that one up and prevent that one from rolling inside your own 10.
Yeah, definitely not the most headsy play by the Bison return men. As we mentioned, got to live with some of the growing pains of this young group. And to use the phrase of head coach Bill Garvey, they're not a young group, just an inexperienced one. Guys with not a lot of playing experience on this roster. Salinatro will give it to Colton Stoneman. Stoneman tries to get around the edge. He'll only have about 2 or 3 yards on the first down handoff. A good job on the edge there by St. Vincent defensively. Andrew Deaton, the junior out of Valerico, Florida, getting in on that one. Salinatro will drop back. Salinatro looking, firing. Ball is nearly completed, and they're going to get, looks like they're going to get a pass interference call.
Be against Kyle Coombe.
Be against Coombe as Salinatro tried to get Sirhan Smith breaking across the middle of the field. And that penalty will go in favor of the Bison. And we'll get them a fresh set of downs. 6:25 left to go here in the third quarter here from Bison Stadium. Bison looking to climb out of a 35-6 deficit.
Gives the Bison a little bit of breathing room, too, after being backed up inside their own 10.
Salinatro looking, firing. Ball thrown along the St. Vincent sideline, nearly intercepted. That time it was Jalen Minchin from New Rochelle, New York, getting in on it, the 5'11 sophomore That time, Salinetro tried to go to Chris Williams along that sideline. Tried to fit the ball in that hole in that cover 2 defense. And time, a good job by the corner, jumping up and getting hands on it.
And that's a ball he can't be throwing there.
Stoneman once again gets the inside handoff. Not much push from the right side of that Bison offensive line, and that is going to bring Bethany into another 3rd and long. It'll be doubles to both sides of the formation, and Colton Stoneman, the running back, flanking Salinetro to the right. Slant pass to Chris Williams. Chris Williams makes the man miss. Chris Williams on the St. Vincent sideline. And a big gain for the junior wide receiver, Chris Williams. A guy I expected them to get a little bit more involved here offensively, as you see what he can do running after the catch.
Well, the inconsistencies of this Bison offense have really hurt them here tonight, and it's prohibited Chris Williams from getting going.
Salinetro once again gives it to Stoneman. Stoneman finds a hole in the middle of the defense. Colt Stoneman cuts it back. Stoneman still on his feet. Stoneman deep inside of St. Vincent territory as he'll go down at about the 30-yard line. Back-to-back first down plays for the Bison here as they get things moving midway through this 3rd quarter.
Stoneman's got to be on the closer end of a 100-yard game here tonight.
Once again, it's to Stoneman. That time he is met by Cam Norris, the 5'11 senior outside linebacker from Roaring Spring, Pennsylvania. Put a lick on Colton Stoneman. And he'll check out on 2nd down in favor of freshman running back Amos Porter. Porter will flank Salinetro. Salinetro looking, firing. Chris Williams once again on the slant. Be close to a Bison first down. And they're going to give him enough for a Bison first down. Chris Williams, back-to-back first down receptions.
My biggest question is, where was this offense in the first half?
Yeah, very interesting decision here by Coach Garvey to go to the quick game now. Amos Porter off the right side, making guys miss, falling ahead. And he'll be close to another Bison first down. Amos Porter doing a nice job spelling Colton Stoneman. Bison will go right back on the football.
With the way that offenses are evolving these days, you're not seeing that workhorse running back anymore. It's all about utilizing multiple backs.
Salinetro again. This time he is brought down as he tried to keep it. Nice job by the left side defensive end of St. Vincent. Not being fooled by the ball action in front of his face. Staying home and making the tackle on Salinetro. And that'll bring the Bison into another 3rd down situation. This time it looks to be about 3rd and 6. Salinetro dropping back, pressure in his face immediately. Looking, firing, will try to get Davon McWhorter a shot in the end zone. And absolutely nothing there. That time Salinetro had to evade pressure right from the giddy-up. Coach Garvey will keep this Bison offense on the field. They converted a 4th down earlier in this one. Salinetro stepped up and hit Brennan Seacrest for the touchdown. Let's see if they're able to duplicate that success on this 4th down. An all-important one here. If they want to get back into this one, they got to have this 4th down score right here.
Got to be your best play call of the night for head coach Bill Garvey.
Salinetro looking back, passing. Will hit Seacrest again, and they'll convert another 4th down as Brennan Seacrest fighting and won't go down easy. And we saw it there once again. It's a nice job by Seacrest adjusting to the football, making a man miss and doing the dirty work to pick up that first down. Bison got to continue to move with tempo here. Just 3:12 and counting left to go here in the 3rd quarter. See some changes up front. They'll bring in their big package. It'll be Gilman, Tim Mickens checking in, as well as Fain. No motion Seacrest. High formation play action pass. Salinetro was dropped for the sack. Coming off the edge scot-free was the St. Vincent Bearcat defender. It was Jack Poling coming on the blitz. Was not fooled by the play action. And, boy, I don't know if I agree 100% there with the play call from Coach Garvey. You've had much success here running the football with Colton Stoneman. You're down here in your own, you're down here in the red zone. Let's get physical, man up, and run the football. And let Colton Stoneman get some dirty yards for you.
Absolutely. He's earned a touchdown here tonight. Feed him the rock. Get him going.
Little miscommunication there from Stoneman and Salinatro. And this Bison drive that once looked like it had some promise is now going in the wrong direction.
Even though there was some miscommunication there, Salinetro's got to pick a hole and run to it. He can't just stand there in the backfield moving his feet and expect to make something out of nothing.
Yeah, tough sledding here for Salinatro. Still have third down. Salinatro looking, throwing. He's got Seacrest again. That time is broken up. It was an absolutely beautiful break on the ball that time. It was Mason Brunson that time coming down from his strong safety spot, putting a hit on Seacrest. They'll bring up fourth down now for the Bison, and you got to believe that they're going to keep the offense out there to try to get a touchdown. So we've got 1:30 left to go here in the third quarter. Bison will come out. They got Tim Mickens in the slot to the left. Salinatro looking for Mickens, and the ball is deflected. And that is how the St. Vincent Bearcats will regain possession, getting the fourth down stop in the red zone. That time they tried to go to Tim Mickens, who was lined up one-on-one in the slot. Mickens is a former offensive tackle, 6'2", 245, has got some size on him. Salinatro liked the matchup. That time it was just beautiful coverage on the back end from St. Vincent. Nice job by their defensive back playing the football, forcing the turnover on downs.
It was Darius May with the deflection there. Interesting that Bearcats went with the linebacker against the sizable Mickens in the slot.
It'll be Coda again, flanked by Marshall Jr. and Staceco. That time, Coda will give. It'll be about a 2 to 3 yard gain for St. Vincent on the ground. As we mentioned in the opener, the success of the Bison in this one was going to be determined by their ability to stop the run, and it has been tough sledding on the defensive end trying to stop the run tonight. It's allowed that RPO game with St. Vincent to get going, and it's absolutely had this front seven of the Bison playing stuck with their feet in the mud, as they're having to think a lot defensively here. We'll motion out. Coda will hand it off. Another 2 yard gain. St. Vincent has elected to keep the ball on the ground here. Obviously, when you're touting a 35-6 lead, as the third quarter begins to wind down here. From the home opener here at Bison Stadium, the first time in 503 days that we have been able to host PAC football. We are so glad to be able to be doing it. Linnell Willingham alongside Drew Von Sayo. So we bring you PAC football via the Bethany Broadcast Network, streamed live on YouTube. And Drew, back-to-back performances of duds for the Bison to open up this abbreviated spring season. We knew coming in the storyline that they were one of the more inexperienced teams in the conference. They graduated a host of talent a season ago with that class led by Carlin Basin and guys like Keandre Murphy. And you're seeing right now the effects of all that roster turnover that the Bison have had, and it's tough to compete when you're going against St. Vincent, who's another younger team, but have got some guys with a little bit more experience here, and right now it's showing.
Absolutely, and the biggest thing is just, like I said before, there's going to be growing pains with this young team. The best thing is just to fight through them, learn from it, and look to get better each and every day.
Yep. Getting better is the only thing this Bison team can do. Good thing about this is they'll have most of this group back in the fall when hopefully we can get back to a quote-unquote regular season. Hopefully it'll be a 10-game slate come August and September. But right now in this 4-game slate, they have really struggled here in the first 2 contests here to stop the run. Same struggles they had last week with Gomes running the football at a high rate from Westminster. Staceco and Marshall Jr. have come in here this evening and imposed their will on this Bison defense. Dakota in the shotgun, flanked by Staceco. We're going to get a false start.
Just a quick check of the Bethany roster. Barring any transfers or Bison leaving the college, they're only graduating 3 seniors.
Yeah, it's still probably up for debate whether or not those 3 will be willing to stick it out and come back for an extra semester in hopes of playing a 10-game slate. Now, one of the seniors off the top of my head is defensive end Muhammad Ilola, who we saw go down earlier with an injury. We hope he's okay. A key cog in this front 7 for the Bison, one of their better pass rushers. Dakota this time will pull it, throw it out to the flat. Tackle made by Quajan McLaughlin along that Bison sideline. More on McLaughlin, the Swiss Army knife of this Bison defense. You'll see McLaughlin lined up all over the field in the slot. Back at safety, lining up at corner. You'll see him in the box, mixing it up in the run game. Another one of these young Bison defenders that they're going to have moving forward. Just a sophomore, 5'11", 180. Out of Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio to be exact. He's got a bright future in this program. Punt return is caught by Sirhan Smith. He'll reverse field. Smith will catch a block. Smith will make a couple of defenders miss before eventually being taken down at the 50-yard line. And field judge over on the St. Vincent sidelines throwing a couple flags. We'll go down to see exactly what the flags are. The officials convening at midfield here.
Definitely appeared as if the second one is going to be a block in the back against the Bison.
Penalties, something that has hurt the Bison early on in this season. Last week, they were more penalized than their opponent in the Westminster game. And here tonight, I mean, most of the flags have been in the direction of the Bison. It's one of the products of playing with an inexperienced group. A lot of guys getting their first live extended game action for the first time in their career. And that's what this 4-game stretch is for, in my opinion. Grow, compete, evaluate the talent that you have right now in the program. Bring another recruiting class in this fall and see where your chips may stack in the fall with a complete 10-game schedule. But right now, I think it's really about the evaluation of this group. It's the first time you get your junior quarterback, Dom Salinatro, as an unquestioned starter. There's no more of the 2-quarterback system now that Carlin Basin has graduated. Got this young receiving core. We've seen here tonight on multiple occasions, Brennan Seacrest, the big 6'2", 180-pound receiver out of Weirton, West Virginia, is going to be a staple in this lineup moving forward. We also saw junior Chris Williams get in on the action, the elder statesman of the group. As we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, he caught a touchdown as a freshman a few seasons ago in a home game against your Sinus. Matter of fact, it was the only touchdown scored in that game. And imagine your first career reception in your first career game being a touchdown.
That's a dream come true right there.
Yeah, but right now, Chris Williams and this Bison offense are living a nightmare. Just 6 points scored here tonight. They've struggled to stay ahead of the chains. They've hurt themselves on a couple occasions as well with some untimely penalties. Back to the drawing board they go, right, Drew? Another opportunity to get better here in a few weeks when they're able to take the field again.
That's all you can do.
Cotto will give it. Cut back lane. Once again, time it's Stasko. Stasko's got to be working on a 100-yard night here, as he has had an absolute field day against this Bison defense. We mentioned coming in, stopping number 26 was going to be key to having success against this St. Vincent offense. And what's really throwing the Bison in the loop probably is David Marshall, number 33, coming along and toting it for the Bearcats as well.
There's such different styles, too. Stasko's that power runner that's going to go forward. Marshall's a bit of a bulkier back. He's going to be a workhorse.
That time, Bison catching a break as Coda was unable to corral the snap. And that'll set up St. Vincent in the second and long. 13:43 and counting left to go here in the fourth quarter here from Bison Stadium. Both teams came into this contest at 0-1, trying to pick up their first win of this abbreviated spring schedule. And as we get set to creep up on the 13-minute mark here in the fourth quarter, it has been all St. Vincent at this point. Jumped out to a big lead. It was much due to the credit of this offensive line as Coda doing much of what Brady Walker did in that first half. Bison struggling to get pressure with this front four, allowing these quarterbacks to get outside the pocket and extend plays, keeping their eyes down the field, and Coda has done more of the same, coming in, substituting for Brady Walker.
He found Walker's favorite target of the night, Keith Kalp, on that play.
Yeah, Keith Kelp coming off a 8-reception, 52-yard game last week against Grove City. And he was happy to get his hands on a couple balls despite the loss, but tonight he has been featured, to say the least, in this St. Vincent offense. So we've seen Walker go to him on multiple occasions, and now Coda in there giving him some work. Tackle is made at the line of scrimmage by the Bison. That time it was Jaheim Colbert squeezing down from his defensive end spot. And that will force another Bearcat punt, and will send Gonzalez back out to try to pin the Bison deep.
For the Bearcats at this point, it's just about finding ways to keep that clock running and wind down these final 12 minutes.
Be two returners back for the Bison. It's Davon McWhorter and Sirhan Smith. It's Gonzalez. The high punt will be fair caught by Sirhan Smith at about the 19 or 20-yard line. That is where Salinatro and company will come back out, looking to score some points. The only points of the night, Drew Von Sio coming on that fourth down conversion, where Salinatro was able to step up and hit Brennan Seacrest.
You know, Linnell, you're never going to win a football game only scoring 6 points. And the Bison have had plenty of opportunities to get a couple more punch-ins and just have found basically every reason in the book not to score.
And you remember that sequence down in the red zone. They were unable to come up with points there because of the penalty, pushing them back, and then they took the sack. Amos Porter will get it. Porter able to get outside, and it'll be close to a Bison first down. That time Porter following Tim Mickens around that right side.
It gave Porter the first there.
Yeah, Amos Porter, 6 foot, 190-pound back, the bigger of the two between him and Colton Stoneman out of Jacksonville, Florida. But you notice with Porter, he's got some pep in his step. Porter again, this time over the left side. Porter, a nice cutback. He'll jump ahead for about 4 or 5 yards. Another penalty flag down on the field. And once again, it'll be against the Bison in the form of a hold. And that is going to negate that Amos Porter run.
All chalks up to that inexperience that we've mentioned before multiple times here tonight. Very young offensive line. They're going to make mistakes. And that's a costly one here.
Definitely, it's going to pin the Bison back even further in their own territory. We'll get them back to their original line of scrimmage before Amos Porter was able to get that 10-yard carry over the right side. On the following play, the hold, and now we are in first and long. Salinatro toss it to McWhorter. McWhorter over reverse field. Davon McWhorter trying to make something happen. McWhorter along the St. Vincent sideline. McWhorter picks up a block from Salinatro, and look out. Davon McWhorter along the Bison sideline, and he'll have the first down. Yvonne McWhorter making a couple men miss as he reversed field. And boy, you like the grittiness of junior quarterback Dom Salinatro getting in there and throwing his face in for a block, trying to help McWhorter get down the field, even though this team's probably not going to come back in this one. You love to see the effort shown by this group.
I was wondering if Dom was going to throw a block, and he did.
Slant ball again to Seacrest. Seacrest will turn to the outside and is off to the races. Brennan Seacrest along the St. Vincent sideline as he's finally taken out at about the 20-yard line. And a nice job by Seacrest making that initial man miss, and he was off to the races.
Just a 3-yard hitch route there for Seacrest, able to turn the corner and get upfield.
Substitution coming in for the Bison. It'll be Tim Mickens re-entering the fray for the green and white. Rob Taylor and Chris Williams to the left of the formation. And to give it again to Amos Porter. Porter cuts up. Amos Porter still have enough for another Bison first down. As we've seen, Amos Porter showing a little bit of a quick twitch and the ability to find the cutback lane on his few carries.
Absolutely, that's one of the key differences I've seen here tonight between Amos Porter, Colton Stoneman. Stoneman's a more patient runner, waits for things to develop. Porter gets the ball and he just goes.
Amos Porter, 6 foot, 190-pound back out of Jacksonville, Florida. Got a bulk of the action last week with 12 carries, and he'll get it once again. Porter with a block. Porter will walk in for a Bison touchdown, but a flag was thrown, and we will see who it's called on, and they're going to get somebody on the right side of that Bison offensive line. See Braylon Sibley politicking with the official, trying to get an explanation for that call. Nonetheless, it'll back the Bison up once again. And Drew, we've seen it multiple times throughout this one. Bison knocking on the door of the red zone, and we mentioned it, one of the cardinal sins in football professionally and in college. When you get inside the red zone, you cannot have penalties, especially when you're down by this much and you need touchdowns rather than field goals.
It's a matter of one step forward, about 5 steps back for the Bison. Just finding ways to throw off any momentum that they can try and grab.
They'll give it to Amos Porter once again. And that time Porter was met by a host of St. Vincent Bearcat defenders, and not much space there for Amos Porter.
Aiden Kelly making the first contact with Porter, ultimately allowing him to gain no traction.
It'll be second down. Salinatro once again flanked by Porter. It'll be doubles to both sides of the formation. McWhorter, Seacrest, Sirhan Smith, and Chris Williams, the receivers, out wide for the Bison. Salinatro looking. Will get Sirhan Smith once again. Smith makes the man miss. It'll get closer to the goal line. Remember, that Bison penalty occurred while they were inside the 10-yard line, so now it's touchdown or nothing here. No opportunity to gain a first down here if you are the Bison. Salinatro dropping back, looking. Salinatro will take a shot. He's got Brennan Seacrest, and Seacrest unable to corral it. And boy, Brennan Seacrest is going to want that one back as it hit him right in the midst.
I'd hate to be in the film room watching that one with Brennan Seacrest. I mean, just in and out of the hands. I get we're down 35-6 here, but you got to find a way to hold that one in regardless of the circumstances.
Yeah, that was one of Salinatro's better throws of the night. Did a nice job putting the ball right on the money. But Seacrest unable to corral it, and we will now have another fourth down. About 4th and 15 here. They need a touchdown. Salinatro will step up. Salinatro getting chased. Salinatro will dive. It'll be tripped up at about the 7-yard line, and that is how the St. Vincent offense will once again regain possession. Another turnover on downs from the Bison. And it has been tough to watch here offensively for Coach Garvey's group.
And as we've said already, penalties have really set the tone in a negative way for the Bison, but just unable to capitalize even without the penalties.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, the penalties coming at the most inopportune times. It's always on the heels of a positive Bison play, it seems to be. It's really killed the momentum here that the Bison were trying to generate here midway through this fourth quarter. We saw them put together a nice drive, a couple nice Amos Porter runs. Salinatro was able to hit Seacrest, who took it down into the red zone. But it ended up being the Seacrest drop that hurt the Bison from scoring a touchdown. We're going to get a timeout call by one of these two coaches.
Bison timeout here with 8:27 remaining.
Probably some housekeeping notes on that Bison sideline, as we saw defensive coordinator Dave Arnold make a platoon swap on the defensive side of the ball, getting some of his young pups in there. As we mentioned, a lot of freshmen along this Bison defensive front. Coach Arnold probably calling timeout or to give them some words of encouragement, or just to flat out coach them up here before they get to see what looks like could be an extended drive here. As St. Vincent starting with the ball all the way in their own territory. Substitution at the cornerback spot. We'll see number 25, Isaiah Thomas, freshman out of Miami Gardens, Florida. We'll name some of the more new faces as we continue to see them here. As Cota will take the snap. Staceco again. Mike Staceco putting his head down.
Sean Wheeler with the stop out of Houston, Pennsylvania. Chartiers Houston High School product.
Yeah, and I talked to Coach Arnold, another member to this secondary, about the freshman Sean Wheeler. Nothing but glowing reviews, as they expect him to play an integral part of this defense moving forward. One of the younger members of this young Bison secondary. See how some of these young pieces are able to compete here. Now they've got a nice stretch of action here to see. Cota once again will throw the bubble. Bison will get it stopped after about a 3 or 4 yard gain. As Cota, like it threw out to Phil Harding. Wasn't Phil Harding. Phil Harding's probably checked out of this one, huh?
Believe it was freshman running back Julian Howard getting an opportunity there for St. Vincent out wide.
Yeah, Bearcats doing a nice job displaying the depth that they've created and have on this roster. Being able to go to their twos and still be able to move the ball with some type of success. Cota once again will take the snap. Staceco with it off over the left side. It'll be Wheeler and Ross combining on the tackle. Markel Ross and Sean Wheeler combining on the tackle. Markel Ross, the freshman linebacker out of Baltimore, Maryland. Another one of the tweeners on this Bison defense, a kid with some good size at 5'11", 195, excuse me. One of the bigger pieces on the chessboard for Coach Dave Arnold. And moving forward, it's a good opportunity to get guys like Ross some playing time. A guy that in the fall, you never know, they may be counting on to play significant snaps. Staceco once again makes a man miss. Staceco lowering the boom over on the St. Vincent sideline. That time it was freshman Sean Wheeler getting invited to the President's Athletic Conference by Mike Staceco.
That entire play was set up by the fantastic block from Bruce Johnson, the left tackle for St. Vincent, 6'4", 255, using all of his size there, getting the edge for Staceco.
Cota again in the shotgun. Two blacks flanking. 5:36 left to go here in regulation. St. Vincent Bearcats jumped out to a big lead and have not turned back since. A big-time hit put on. Wow. Screaming up that time. Looked to be Isaiah Thomas. Coming up and playing that screen, extremely physical. They'll bring up second down for St. Vincent, but another welcoming sign there. If you're defensive coordinator Dave Arnold, you're one of your freshmen cornerbacks sticking his face in there, being physical, playing the screen. Nice stuff to put on film here.
Always a way you can look for a positive, even in a pretty much worst case scenario as this has become.
Get another flag thrown this time. Looks like it will be against the Bearcats. They get a delay game called on the defense. As the official down on the Bison sideline giving an explanation to Coach Garvey. Nonetheless, St. Vincent walking the ball forward here per the official's direction, and love to get some clarity on that one. Cotto will take it. Stasko again. Stasko getting the edge. Stasko nearly falling forward. More flags being thrown on this Bison sideline, and this is the disgusting part. This is the disgusting, unsportsmanlike part that you don't want to see on behalf of the Bison. You're getting your rear ends kicked right now, 35-6, and all we keep seeing is personal foul penalties. Signs of the frustration seeping out here from the Bison.
Well, it all starts after Stasko steps out of bounds. Waderick pushes two Bison to the ground, and I think that's what flared the tempers of the Bison, down 35-6, and at this point for them, it's really nothing to lose.
They're going to lose some yards here. As St. Vincent will continue to march forward here on a drive that started deep inside of their own territory. They've now made their way across the 40-yard line of the Bison. As Cotto has continued to keep this St. Vincent offense chugging forward. Cotto will take and hand it off. The change there at the running back spot.
Tariq Fields, freshman out of Baltimore.
That time it was Frank from the bank making the tackle. Franklin Heraldez, the 6-foot sophomore out of Casa Grande, Arizona. Seeing some extended action due to the large St. Vincent lead. Another one of the young cogs on this Bison defense that will be returning in the fall. Cotto surveying. Cotto will give it. Marshall Jr. breaking another tackle, and he has had himself a day as well. David Marshall Jr. 5'10", 200-pound senior back out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, has been toting here in this one. Him and Mike Stasko, I mean, they have been ground and pound, earth, wind, and fire, man. Absolutely giving it to the Bison up front here. And credit to this St. Vincent offensive line. They kept Brady Walker protected most of the night during his time. And they've paved some holes here in the running game. And Coach Matenka has got to be pleased with the performance of his guys up front, as they have really led the way here in what has been a non-competitive football game for the most part here, as St. Vincent came out and absolutely jumped on the Bison from the get-go.
It's a two-headed monster running back with Stasko and Marshall. Could be a duo that's going to haunt this conference for the remainder of this year.
Cotto keeps, and he'll be swallowed up by a host of Bison defenders. That run will continue to keep the clock going. 2:25 left to go here in the fourth quarter.
Speaking of seniors, we talked earlier about a couple Bison that will have the decision to make whether to come back for an extra semester. You have to wonder if Stasko and Marshall Jr. will exercise that option as well.
Yeah, it's been a interesting spin around the conference here. So we got a second to take a breath here, get you some final scores as games continue to go final here. Start of the fourth quarter, it is a W&J rout of Waynesburg, 59-0, as the fourth quarter gets set to start. And that game and score all important to the Bison because Waynesburg, the next opponent here for the Bison in this abbreviated 4-game season. Bison were able to go to Waynesburg a season ago and come up victorious. It was the Raekwon Wright and Carlin Basin show in that one. Stephon Carter got in on the action as well.
Bison will face the Presidents after the Yellow Jackets, so that's a game to really keep an eye on.
Yeah, last year the Bison were able to come out, hit W&J in the mouth first. It's a Greg Advent touchdown to open up the game for the Bison. It's another handoff from St. Vincent as this clock continues to wind down. So we're under a minute to go here in regulation in a game that, quite frankly, has absolutely surprised me. I knew the Bison would have some difficulty during this 4-game slate due to their inexperience, but 2 weeks in a row to come out and be flat out uncompetitive, I mean, it's got to be tough for the guys on the sideline, tough for the players, coaches, and everyone else involved in the program right now. It's been a tough go at it here in the first 2 games of this abbreviated spring schedule.
They've just got to find a way to keep their heads up. I mean, as we said before, the results don't matter this spring. Obviously, you want to go out, try to compete, win a championship. But in a season like this where you have a very inexperienced team, it's about evaluating talent, seeing what guys you can use in future seasons, 2-3 years down the road, and get the most out of them at that point.
I don't know if I all the way agree with your sentiment of these 4 games don't matter. Don't tell that to senior Muhammad Alola, who's potentially dressing up for the last time here in his career during this 4-game stretch. Don't tell that to the couple seniors on this roster who are trying to compete, for that elusive PAC championship. But their start will become much more difficult as they will start off 0-2, as Coda will take one more knee here to wrap things up here from Bison Stadium. It was a stinker of a performance to return home for the first time in 503 days and put out this performance. It's got to be disappointing for all parties involved on the Bethany sideline. They got some work to do. They got to go back to the drawing board as they host Waynesburg here coming up here. Waynesburg also struggling, having their own struggles of their own. As we mentioned, they're getting absolutely mollywopped right now by Washington and Jefferson, 59-0, as they just started their fourth quarter. And that final knee will bring us to 0-0 on the clock. It's a 35-6 St. Vincent Bearcat rout of the Bethany Bison, as the Bearcats have come in here and absolutely shocked this home crowd. I want to thank all the people possible for our broadcast happening today. I want to thank the SIDs and athletic directors around the conference, allowing us to get to play some spring football here. As we once again wrap up, it is a final score of 35-6. St. Vincent coming out and knocking off the Bison, dropping your home team to 0-2 on the start of this abbreviated spring season. For Linnell Willingham and Drew Von Sayo, this has been the Bethany Broadcasting Network's presentation of PAC football, streamed live on YouTube.